One of the biggest news stories this week on Monday Night Raw was the return of Ruby Riott and the subsequent attack that followed on Liv Morgan. Now, what I loved most about this as a fan was there was no leaks, there was no rumours that Ruby Riott was going to come back and do this on Raw. There was reports that she was medically cleared and she was going to be coming back to the WWE, but we didn't know how, we didn't know where, we didn't know why she'd actually return. We soon found out. And what I loved also about it was Liv Morgan's reactions. The second that the Riot Squad music hit, her head swung round. Something you miss nowadays a lot in WWE. There is sometimes a delay. That emotion of pure shock turned into nothing but pure joy at the fact her best friend was once again walking the aisle. Ruby got into the ring with Liv, and obviously it was like a feel-good Riot Squad reunion moment. You could see it coming though, and it happened. Ruby Riott turned heel and beat down Liv Morgan. Now, I genuinely love this. A lot of people are saying that maybe Liv should have turned heel here. I don't think that's right. I don't think Liv should have at all. I think this was done perfectly. And of course, now it leaves us to theorize the reason why Ruby Riott attacked Liv Morgan. Well, I've been having a few days to think about this, and there's a few really plausible reasons why she did it. The first one being, maybe Ruby is jealous. Now, don't forget, Liv Morgan was drafted to SmackDown. The Riot Squad split up, and there's a whole video online of Liv being upset, literally crying at the prospect of having to have a solo career without Ruby and Sarah. So, obviously, Ruby and Sarah felt the exact same, but when she actually went to SmackDown, Liv was over the moon. She was still happy. She was still cheerful. She tried to path a career for herself. SmackDown Liv was trending. Fans made t-shirts and posters and signs and caps. SmackDown Liv got over. Now, at the same time as that, Ruby Riott suffered an injury, and kayfabe would say she sat on the shelf. The WWE Universe must forget about her. Now, of course, we don't forget that easily, especially someone as awesome as Ruby Riott, but kayfabe would say that we do. So maybe while Ruby Riott was out of action, she sat at home watching Liv Morgan path this new career for herself, even coming back after the whole SmackDown Liv era, and she just simply got jealous. Maybe Liv Morgan held her back. There are some pictures online of the Riot Squad doing promo pictures in which Ruby Riott is holding onto the braces of Liv Morgan. They're kind of symbolic, with a parent holding on to a child's reins. Now, we know that Liv Morgan's previous character was that of a bratty sort of young girl who basically may have needed parental guidance, and maybe Ruby Riott gave that. And maybe she feels like without it, Ruby's career could have progressed a lot quicker. Ruby Riott hates the Riot Squad. Now, this is kind of a complex one, but think about it. They were never a legitimate tag team. They were thrown together because WWE needed to call up more women's wrestlers. They needed more faces in the division, and the simple, easy way to do that at the time was literally throw three people together and call them a tag team. Now, of course, the team got over and became a legitimate tag team, but it never was. And think about the name, Riot Squad. It wasn't the Morgan Squad or the Logan Squad, it was the Riot Squad. Maybe Ruby feels like they stole her name, stole her identity, and stole her thunder. Maybe she feels like Liv and Sarah rode her coattails to success, and basically she should have been doing that solo, and now she's back to reclaim what's hers. I kind of like that. Another great one. Ruby is angry. Now, don't forget, before Liv's return, she'd done those promos in the bathroom, and in one of them, she actually says that her friends told her how to act, how to dress, what to do. Basically, if we take it the assumption that she was talking about the Riot Squad, blaming her failures on the Riot Squad. Now, of course, Ruby Riott would have been at home watching that, thinking, wait, I was like a mentor to you, a parental figure. I looked out for you, Liv. And you basically said that about me, and maybe that's what sparked Ruby Riott to be angry enough to go after Liv Morgan in the way she did on Raw. Makes sense. Now, another cool one is that Lana recruited Ruby. Now, The beatdown itself was brilliant. I love the fact it was just violent. There was no weapons, there was no blood spots. Liv was never unconscious. It was perfect. But look in the background. Lana was in the ring. Why would you not exit the ring seeing Ruby Riott come down and the possible 2-on-1 situation which could follow? The end segment of this whole segment wasn't actually Ruby Riott's attack. It was Lana hitting the X Factor on Liv Morgan. Lana basically getting the final say and then mocking Liv Morgan as she left, saying, "There's your karma. I am your karma." Laughing the entire time. And that followed up on social media with Liv Morgan tweeting out, "Squad, huh?" And Lana just replying, "Karma," with laughing emojis. Again, last week, Liv Morgan tweeted out that would teach him after she defeated Lana. Lana's reply was, "You're right. You sure did teach me to never make that mistake again." Maybe that's when Lana decided to go out and reach out to Ruby Riott and get Ruby Riott on side. Another interesting tweet around the same time was Lana congratulating Liv Morgan, saying, "You came prepared last night. I taught you well." It's possible that they go down a mentor kind of role between Lana and Liv. Therefore, the teacher has to teach the student new lessons, hence Ruby Riott, and the student, the babyface Liv Morgan, has to overcome them, which could lead to the tag match of Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan versus Lana and Ruby Riott. I think that would be an okay match. I'd be all for it. The stories continue on all sides, and it brings Sarah Logan back on TV, which is a major plus. Also, don't forget the last time we actually saw Sarah Logan, she was going against Charlotte Flair in what was almost like a bitter mini feud. Now, Sarah Logan obviously is close friends with Liv Morgan. Charlotte Flair is someone that a lot of people will say deserves a karma attack from Liv Morgan. So maybe like Sarah was like an advanced party trying to get revenge for Liv Morgan while Liv Morgan was doing something else. Maybe that's plausible. Maybe it's a cool little Easter egg. I like that. Finally, Liv Morgan lied. We have theorized on the channel before that when she came back at the wedding, confessed a previous relationship with Lana, she lied and basically just stole the spotlight and made it all about her. Now, what was interesting here is she never attacked Lana. She was talking quite calmly. She was very happy talking, gave Lana the chance, and then Lana hit Liv. And I think that could be a very important thing in this whole story because, yes, by the end of the night and the end of the segment, Liv Morgan got the final laugh. She was stood above Lana, who was covered in cake. She got the shots back. She basically beat up Lana and humiliated her on Raw on her wedding day, which was actually really cool when you look back and think about it. But the same thing could be said for the whole Ruby Riott thing beat down on Raw. Think about it. Liv went in for a hug on Ruby, gave her the chance. Ruby then beat down Liv. I really like that because now karma has a reason to call the name Ruby Riott. And when you think of Liv Morgan's new karma persona, she can't just attack someone for no reason. There has to be a reason. And the fact that Ruby hit first, there's your reason. I think that could be a tie because, again, Lana hit first, Ruby hit first. Now, I wanted to end this video slightly differently, so I put out a tweet on Twitter simply saying, why do you think Ruby Riott attacked Liv Morgan on Raw? It's important to stress I can't literally put all the replies on here because we'd be here for another 40 minutes and that would be insane. But I really do appreciate all the responses. These are just a few of my favourites, so make sure you check out the tweet and see the responses. First of all, I am guessing she was caught up with Lana that she never called to check up on her. I love this. I didn't even think of this when I was making the main bulk of the video, but you're right. WWE's done this before where Ruby could just be upset that Liv never called to see if she was okay. Next up, Demon Star says because she is a bad person who only used Liv and Sarah all the time. But now, since Liv gets spotlight, is liked by the fans and actually wins matches on her own, she's jealous of Liv and wants to get her position and make the statement that she doesn't need Liv or Sarah. I like this. I think that's plausible. Maybe Ruby was the bitch the whole time and now she's just showing it. Thumbs up. I really like that one. Next up, this was a really cool one. Maybe Ruby thinks that Liv disrespected her with her promo, saying that her friends forced her to be someone she wasn't. Personally, I'll be hurt if one of my best friends will say that. Ruby is like, how dare you, Liv, after everything I did for you. Maybe Sarah is next. Again, we did talk about this earlier on, but I think we're singing from the same hymn sheet. I think it's plausible. I don't know if Sarah will be next. I mean, I think you need to give time between the Ruby and Liv story to actually play out first. And finally, Liv cheated on her, saying that there may have been a romantic interest between Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. It's very possible. It does tie in with what we saw on the wedding, so again, it's possible. But I think WWE will try and steer clear of that storyline going forward. Now, I thoroughly enjoyed making this video. I really did, and it was a little bit extended because I wanted to include your thoughts. But again, it's always important to have your say, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Of course, if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We are on the road to 20,000 subscribers, so thank you for that. Like the video, share it on social media so your friends can find it. I will, as always, see you next time. Peace!